guys, welcome back to Alicia's channel. How you guys doing? Well, today, another day, another dollar, right? So yeah, today we're going to talk about how I passed my NCLEX in 75 questions. Yes, 75 questions, the minimum questions necessary. Woo! Let's get it. Today I want to share my 3 most important resources to pass NCLEX in 75 questions. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the best book in the world. We're going to talk about NCLEX Saunders. This book is pretty expensive. However, you can get the PDF, which is much cheaper or even free. I use this book because it was very colorful and I love colors. I hate books that are so bland and just black and white. It's just boring. And so I'll try to flip through these pages. Ugh, this book is so heavy. But yeah, so like it has pictures and just so much fun stuff. Like, I love it. 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 Anyway, yeah, this book is amazing. When I used this book, I made sure that I did 2 chapters a day, and I made sure I did the questions after each chapter. I did not want to overwhelm myself, so I made sure I did 2 chapters a day only. Sometimes I wouldn't do it, but I would make sure I catch up because I'm just that girl. I do not let things just go by, okay? I make sure I am on my stuff and I do it as I am supposed to. So yeah, that is the Saunders book. Very important book. It goes by your systems, so you can do cardio, and it just worked out because like the 2 chapters were basically the same topic. So it would be like cardiac, respiratory, immune, GI. I don't know, but they were always 2, 2. So that helped me, which was great. So I kept everything pretty much very related, So I did maybe cardiac that day, respiratory that day, whatever. Anyway, that's how I kept it. I kept it very similar, and I made sure that I went over my 2 chapters a day. Now, to be honest, just frankly honest, when it was getting closer to the day, I was getting really anxious. And me reading these chapters were very time consuming, and I didn't have time. I was working a part-time job in the emergency room, and I didn't have time to sit there and really read these chapters. So what I did, instead of reading the chapters, I would go in the back of the chapter, answer the questions. Whichever questions I got wrong, I would go back and read that specific topic. And the reason why I did that was because if I, let's say, know everything about asthma, what's the point of rereading it, And so I, felt that I needed to make sure that I'm getting through this stuff quick and understanding it. So if I got a question wrong on, let's say, bronchitis, then obviously I'm going to make sure that, going over the topic bronchitis because I got that question wrong. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so that was towards getting closer to the date. I started getting anxious, so I started doing that. But initially I was reading my 2 chapters a day and doing the questions at the end of the chapter. I think I purchased that book from Barnes & Nobles, which was about $75. If I do find a cheap place to find it, I will link it below. It is an important book. It's very essential. So definitely get the Saunders RN to help you study with NCLEX. So are you guys ready for tip number 2? Or shall I say resource number 2? Because yes, these are all resources that will help you pass. So yeah, let's get on to resource number 2. Resource number 2 is going to be ATI. And I'm looking down because I do have my notes to keep my video a little bit more organized. But I do have, I did do ATI. And ATI was given to me by my school. And initially we had Kaplan, which, we should have stuck with Kaplan. But they decided to change it on us. I feel like we were the guinea pig of the school, but whatever. Yeah, they changed it up on us and they gave us ATI. And ATI was basically to help us with studying for NCLEX. And I pretty much just used the Improve tab. I thought the Improve tab was very helpful for me, especially because as I did those chapters in Saunders, I would do the Improve tab, and in the Improve tab, it had all those tests that went over specific systems, which helped me. So like, let's say I did 2 chapters in Saunders about cardiology or cardiac, I would go to my Improve tab, and once I was done with that topic, I would take that comprehensive test for cardiac. And so that helped me because, I try to stay within that topic and make sure that I did everything I could for that topic to understand it thoroughly. So yes, I did use ATI, and I used the Improve tab, which had all the comprehensive exams for all the topics specifically. And I think that was really important because it kept me focused on all of the topics at one time, and I didn't confuse myself, and I didn't, get overwhelmed. So yes, I did use ATI. I wasn't a big fan of ATI though, I'm going to be 100% honest. It was a great resource to just practice and do questions. However, the rationales pretty much sucked. They were not very effective in helping you learn why you got the question wrong. It was more so like, oh, well, according to blah, 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 it's best as a priority question, ABCs. Like, what? Nobody cares about, okay, it's a priority question, ABC, hierarchy, or Maslow hierarchy of needs. Like, no, girl, tell me why I got the question wrong. Like, tell me, because that's what I need to know. So yeah, the rationales were not like that. It was more like what type of question it was, how you should, it was, no. Okay, so yeah, that was pretty sucky. Like, I hated the rationales. I did not really understand them. And I really didn't understand why I got the questions wrong. So for me, it was like defeating the purpose, but like I was just practicing questions. So whatever gave me more questions to practice, that's exactly what I did. So yeah, that's ATI. That was resource number 2. Tip number 3. I do want to mention too that if you do the Saunders and you do the 2 chapters a day, then you can finish that book in 1 month and 6 days, and then do the comprehensive exam, which is right behind the book. So don't get discouraged because the book is so thick, because it really is thick. But just know that if you're very consistent, you can finish that book in 1 month and 6 days. So that's really, really important. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about the third resource that I used to pass NCLEX. And so the third resource that I used to pass NCLEX was, guess what? UWorld. Yes, UWorld is amazing. Like, I could sit here and like go on and on and on and on and on about UWorld. But like, seriously, UWorld is amazing. Like, it literally looks just like the NCLEX. Like, if you do UWorld and you go and take the NCLEX, you're going to be so happy. You are going to be the happiest person in the world, because when you get to that computer and it turns on, it looks like UWorld. So it makes you feel so comfortable that you are used to this screen. And oh God, my heart dropped when it looked like UWorld. I was so happy. I was the happiest girl in the world, to be honest. I felt super comfortable because it looked the same as UWorld. It made me feel like I was taking another UWorld test, despite the fact that I was under surveillance and couldn't wear any jewelry. Yeah, like, I felt like I was taking another UWorld exam, which was so good. Okay, so good. But yeah, so UWorld was amazing. Initially, I was getting like in the 60s when I was doing like not the time version, but the review version, because after every question that I did, there would be a rationale. But then like maybe like a month into it, my friend was like, girl, you should not be doing reviews, you need to be doing times. And I was like, oh my God, what? Times? So that took me to a whole nother level. So yeah, initially I was getting 60s, and then I started doing times, and it went down to the 50s. I was getting 54, 56, 58. like high, mid-high 50s. But yeah, and I got so discouraged. I'm like, oh my God, how do I go from 60s to like 50s? This really sucks. But yeah, and then I just kept doing times, and I just kept getting used to the fact that I'm being timed on this, and I am not going to have any rationale that's going to help me to answer the next question. So I really need to know my stuff. And so I just kept at it, okay, and I kept doing timed. I was doing about 75 question exams. I would do like one 75 question exam, and then once I finished doing the 75 question exam, I would probably, if I had time, do another 75 question exam. But I was definitely doing 75 question exams, like 2 of them, towards like closer to the date, because I was like, oh my God, what if I don't get 75 questions, and then I get 100 questions, and then I get 150? Who knows? I could even be there for 6 hours doing 265 questions. So I was like practicing a lot, but I would generally do 75 questions. That was the max amount of questions you could do. UWorld unfortunately doesn't allow you to do any more than 75 questions, which is great, but whatever. Yeah, so I was doing 75 questions, and I was getting in the 60s, and I could, like, for a minute, I could never get to the 70s, which I was so discouraged. I'm like, damn, like, I know this stuff. Why am I not getting 70s? But again, don't focus mainly on the score. Focus on understanding the rationale and understanding why you got the question wrong, so you won't get it wrong again. But yeah, that's definitely the best resource that I have used for NCLEX. I really, really, really recommend UWorld to anyone studying for NCLEX. I promise you, you will pass with 75 questions, even more. It doesn't matter. The point is, you will pass. So yeah, definitely invest in it. I'm going to put the link below for UWorld, ATI, as well as the Saunders book. These are very important resources for you to use to pass NCLEX, and I wish you luck. You got this. You got this, girl. Don't worry, you got this. NCLEX. Just make sure that you make a strict calendar for yourself. Make sure that you are doing something every day and you're consistent. This will help you to feel a little bit more calmer and a little bit more knowledgeable when it comes to the information before that day comes. And I really recommend that you do not study the day before NCLEX. I recommend that you try to do some self-care routines, maybe take a warm bath, do your nails, do your hair. Just try to relax. Try to, take all that anxiety out of you, because of course you are going to be very anxious. I cried 3 days before my exam just because. Not because anything happened. I was just really emotional, very anxious, and you're going to feel that way. So make sure that you take that day before the NCLEX to just relieve that stress. The only thing I really did was I went over lab values. And if you want to go over lab values just to make sure that you're remembering them, do that. But go over something that you're familiar with, okay? If you want to do some dosage, do some dosage. Go over lab values, but do not study any material. Like, what you know is what you know, and that's it. Just trusting yourself, know that you're going to be a nurse, and know that you did everything you could to pass. Thank you for watching my video. I hope these tips have helped you and will help you to pass your NCLEX in 75 questions. Also, I will put the link in the description below just in case you do want to know where you can find these resources at. Just make sure you give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. It is what it is. Subscribe for my next video update, and I hope to see you guys soon.